Okay, so goddamn, the Yosu community has been absolutely heated up with this mapping drama that has been recently happening, and by the looks of it, people are waiting for someone to cover this entire story. Lucky for you, your boy Stu is here and I'm going to talk about this entire situation. And just like a referee in a boxing match, I'm going to give both sides equal opportunities to voice their opinions. And of course, without stating my opinion in this video at all. Once again, if you want to be updated with the latest Yosu news, then be sure to hit that sub button, it would really be appreciated. So it all started a month ago when Sotarks decided to return to the mapping scene a bit and made a mapping collaboration with a lot of other mappers for Christmas. He was aiming for this map to be ranked later on. However, a few days ago, Sotarks posted that his map got vetoed and that one of the main reasons why he doesn't map in the Yosu community anymore is dealing with rankable criteria from the NAT, implying that the NAT are sort of trying to make Sotarks' map theirs and that the NAT would only rank maps the way they would make it. Since the tweet got posted, a lot of beatmap nominators and mappers were calling out Sotarks for causing drama and taking this to Twitter instead of handling everything privately. On the other side though, a lot of also players were defending Sotarks, saying that the game is literally dying just because mappers are not mapping and ranking jump maps and farm maps that a lot of people like to play these days. That instead people are left with maps like these. Someone by the name of Flopa also said this: I do genuinely respect Sotarks, but this tweet feels like an overblown reaction to constructive criticism on a map set getting pushed for ranked. The BNG isn't perfect, BNs aren't perfect, but I think most people need to cut them some slack. Sotarks replied to this saying, did you read the whole post and timestamps before calling it constructive criticism? I think you should if you didn't, because this looks like how he would represent the song and how it should be mapped according to him. Sotarks later on posted a lengthy response to the criticism and everything that happened after his post. In the first point, he says that he hates the way that Fuji handled the veto for multiple reasons, mainly for disqualifying his map without even having an open discussion about it, and then as he refers to it, being close-minded on having an actual discussion on some points, specifically Monstrato's difficulty. His second point is pretty much the reply that he did to Flopa Osu about the veto not being constructive criticism and rather being a subjective overall opinion, and that the map is not worth getting disqualified instantly, and that he would much rather appreciate having some suggestions first than into a discussion, and that if they don't come into an agreement then they would veto him, which is how he handles vetoes, showed by an example in this point right here. In the third point, he implies that a large amount of BNs and NETs are against these type of maps like jump, PP and aim maps, which to him and a lot of other people is why the current ranking meta sucks ass apparently. The NAT and BNs apparently appreciate other kinds of maps that are less appreciated by the players in the community nowadays, which is why there isn't as much play count on maps these days. And he also points out how BNs and NETs are not players and that they're just mappers that have used to play the game, and that's why they don't take into consideration what the player base loves playing and have fun with, which is one of the main reasons why he left the BN and mapping community. In the fourth point, he does indeed state that he used his Twitter following to handle this situation, and that you can blame him for it because he really doesn't care about it. And in the fifth point, he says that he'll try to discuss with Fuju and handle things, but at the end of the day he feels like he will be forced to change some things if he wants to be able to rank the map. He also later on in replies states that the maps that are currently getting ranked and PP maps should coexist and not one instead of the other. And by the looks of the replies on the tweet, it looks like that a lot of people are actually supporting Sotarks in this statement. However, there's still mappers that are criticizing Sotarks, like for example IOException when he tweeted this. No one in this thread agreeing with him has looked at the rank section in the last 3 months because there's still a ton of simple rhythm jump maps, it's just not 99% of all newly ranked maps anymore. But what a way to blame the ranking system for the fact that Monstrato's difficulty was shit. Sotarks replied to this saying, when was the last time you unironically saw a map that stays in there and not just for 24 hours and disappears? Basically, top 10 most played maps are unrankable nowadays, so people still play them even now because you can't have them anymore. IOException replied to this by saying, wait, I really don't get this reply. Getting to the top of this list isn't the point of ranking maps, and the fact that this pretty much only reflects the most exploited PP farm maps is the reason this list was removed from the homepage. Just as an aside, I do kinda agree that your veto reasons are pretty flimsy, except maybe Monstrato's difficulty, and I would personally be fine with your map ranked as is. But don't blame the ranking system for your veto. PP maps still exist and continue to get ranked, like do the flop. DeviousPanda also tweeted by saying this: hot take, but also is not dying if the newest farm jump formula pasted into a new song isn't ranked every few days. Old content still exists and most rhythm games thrive off sporadic content updates. Maybe the problem is the inability to enjoy the game without new maps to farm. Some people were clowning DeviousPanda, saying that this is like saying, why make new Star Wars movies when we can watch the old ones? Or why play the newest game by the name of Baldur's Gate 3 when we can play Neopets? DeviousPanda responded to this by saying, but that assumes that no new comfy aim maps or whatever people call aim maps now are being made. My issue with all this complaining is that maps don't magically spawn in the rank section. If you want comfy aim, go find it in the tens of thousands of graveyarded unranked aim maps. And even then, it's not like farm maps aren't being ranked. One just got vetoed once and everyone is blowing it way out of proportion. DeviousPanda also retweeted a thread by this username right here, where they list every single jump map that has been ranked in the past month. And as you can see by this screenshot right here, the thread is pretty lengthy. I know that there's gonna be a lot of people that are going to ask me to post this link, so you can find it in the description. Someone by the name of Blender responded to this by saying, this is very true, but it does kinda suck for around 30k players who no longer enjoy playing 5-star and low 6-star aim maps. The same person later on responded with a list of new maps that are 6.5 stars and above that recently got ranked, that excluded the maps that were listed above. But even after this thread, there are still a lot of people that don't agree with this, stating that there's still not enough jump maps that are getting ranked. The ex-1 player in Croatia by the name of KarliXon recently made a pretty lengthy post about the mapping drama and stuff that recently happened, where he linked a video debunking what the BNs were saying, that there's still DT aim farm maps that are getting ranked nowadays, stating that it took him almost 3 hours of playing and looking at maps just to be able to find a ranked farm aim map that you can play with DT. If you want to read this entire Reddit thread for yourself, I'll leave a link in the description. And also someone in the thread literally said to put them in this video, so yeah, here have your 5 seconds of fame. Someone by the name of Ray also tweeted saying this: hot take, players' perspective is more important than mappers. I don't care how much your dogshit tumor sliders represent the song, if it's widely considered to not be fun to play, then you failed as a mapper. Sotarks replied to this saying, I think both should coexist with a mutual understanding and not just their own sake, but I do agree that playability and fun are the most important aspects. Monstrada replied to this saying that it's kinda sad that nowadays this is considered a hot take. IOException replied to this by saying, you act as if mappers aren't players. More often than not, mappers are just players with more perspective in the game than simple preferences. They're just parroting from what the PP system favors. IOException also tweeted this separately: too many new players have grown up with jump only maps because bursts and other skill sets are basically worth nothing at that stage. Maybe this is actually a PP system issue because people are kinda programmed into not liking other maps genres at an early stage. Since me starting this recording, Sotarks has posted a new tweet where he said this: so this is how veto works nowadays. I see. Here, this is how your diff should be if you want me to lift my veto. Monstrasta's difficulty is already way easier than what it used to be, and it's still not enough. I can't, lol. Where he shows that Fujo literally sent him an edited .osu file supporting everything that he was trying to say previously. And as of me recording this is where the situation is so far. There may or may not be more updates in the near future, so I will update y'all in the latest Osu news episode if that happens. If I did something wrong or if I misinformed you in any sort of way, be sure to let me know down in the comments so I can fix myself for later episodes, and let me know how you feel about this whole situation down in the comments. But that is essentially it. Thank you so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed. Be sure to subscribe if you want to stay updated with the latest Osu news, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.